How are you?
Hi. Good, very good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So, how's the day so far?
Good.
Great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty nice out. It's still early. We got a lot to do today,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's good.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So, guys, your second album, The Fox and the Bird, is to be out on June 2nd. So, would you like to tell me a bit about the songwriting and the production behind this new album?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So the process, I mean, it's a concept album. The process was very we started with one song, which was The Bear. This was back in 2020 was when we started working on that song. And we were kind of working on that one and trying to finish it. And we decided that the new material was going to be concept based. And so we kind of put that on the back burner for a little bit and then worked on uh, the concept and the story and the sound that we wanted to do and the way that we wanted to work, which we decided was going to be very collaborative. And so, yeah, we worked on the concept and then worked on the production and the songwriting. Lyrics were mostly Casey, of course, but everything kind of went through everyone. Like we all saw what everyone was doing during the entire process, and I think that made it even if it's like a very different styles throughout the whole album. I think it made it cohesive in a way, and I think it made it the best that it could be because we were all there. Uh,
Yeah, yeah,
Fantastic.
great.
And would you like to tell a bit about the concept behind this?
yeah.
Sure, yeah. So basically we it's a pretty start to finish story. We wanted it to read like a folk tale or like a storybook that you could very simply digest as a kid or an adult. And then when you get to the actual music, it's a little more intense and a little bit harder to digest in a sense. But it takes you on a journey, and that's what we wanted to do. And so conceptually, we wanted to write something about animals because we all like animals. And so we thought that this idea would be really cool of entering this fantasy world where the main characters are protagonists are a fox and a bird,
Mhm.
and they are from a village or a home that is suddenly experiencing this very life-threatening drought that is starting to get very, very bad. And so they basically they get told by their town wiseman slash kind of scribe, who is a raccoon, that there's this ancient myth about a mountain that is in a land far away, that may be able to restore the water to their home. There are spirits on this mountain. And the only way that this is possible, if the myth is even true, is if they are brought a set of totems or items. So the fox and the bird are our main characters volunteer to go on this journey and to do this. And because it's a myth, you have no idea, they have no idea if it is actually going to help, or if they're really going to be able to, return rain and water to their home. But they're going to try anyway because they are uh, very kind. So that's basically the synopsis of like what happens, and kind of everything in and throughout the story. We It's mostly self-explanatory, but we also wanted there to be very ambiguous moments where you're not really sure what necessarily is going on, but we wanted visually and sonically for every listener to be able to picture how this plays out on their own, and just see what everybody sort of comes up with their own interpretations.
Amazing, amazing. And talking about the album, 13 amazing songs, beautifully written, great vocals, amazing musicianship, the progression, the power, the energy, everything gels together. and came out beautifully well. Thank you so much for putting up an amazing album this year. And as a band, how do you guys feel about the outcome of this album?
I mean, yeah, we're pretty happy. We tried our best, which is always the only thing that you should do. Of course, I mean, there's things we would have done differently now, and things that you're like, I would have fixed that, but that's always going to happen, right? So especially when you started writing these things like 2 years ago or three years ago, some of these, right? You're like, wow, I think I know so many more things now that I didn't know back then.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're pretty happy. We're pretty stoked that we got it done. And yeah, I think at least from the response we've been getting, people really appreciate what we did with this album, and just how kind of different it is from the old stuff, but it still has kind of that core okay Goodnight sound, I think.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And recently you released a video for the Bears. So would you like to tell me a bit about the video in particular and about the song?
Yeah. So yeah, the Bear was a lot of fun to shoot. We spent a couple of months sort of prepping for that and talking about how we were going to do it. And we wanted it to be a pretty simple, like, performance music video, but still give all of the drama and all of the theatrics that we could to represent that I was playing the protagonist, and that Elizabeth, who's the featured vocalist on it, Elizabeth Hall, that she was sort of portraying the bear. That was obviously very mean and very villainous. So yeah, we wanted to do a shoot in the woods. We weren't sure for a while whether we were going to try to do sort of an interior design or if we were going to just go for it and shoot out in the woods. And it took a really long time, actually. There were a couple of different people that we tried to work with, and like things kind of just fell through like over and over again. Yeah. But then we did it, and we got it done, and on the day of, it was a lot of fun. It was our first time shooting a music video or doing anything of the sort. But I think that it was a really fun experience. Obviously very like tiring and kind of crazy doing that for the first time. But I think that it got us very prepared for just that idea of like shooting music videos or performing, and especially even got us kind of hyped for getting to play live again, because at the whole time we were writing the album, it was through the pandemic, so we were not playing any shows. So that music video was actually kind of the first taste of us getting to play together again, even if it was for a video. So it was still different, but yeah, so that was really fun. And The Bear, as Martin said, it was like the first song that we wrote like musically for the album, and that was probably like maybe the demo for that was written even like 3 years ago now, like a very long time ago. So yeah, we kind of thought that song was a really good first single because it's very digestible, it's very metal, very prog, but it has a lot of fun theatrical like play with like the lyrics and everything. And so, Elizabeth and I had sung together before that, but never really like co-written or written anything together. So yeah, that part of it was just was a lot of fun, and yeah, it was cool.
Yeah. Yes. Awesome. And any plans to come up with more videos from this album?
Yeah, well, we just a couple of weeks ago released a lyric video that's animated for The Fox and the Bird, and that was done by Martin Gonzalez's cousin, Juliana Arcinigas, and so that was a really beautiful thing to watch, and the response has been really good. And we are going to put out a music video on the day of our release too. We don't necessarily want to say what song it is yet. I'd rather keep that as a surprise, but it will be very intense and very high energy. And I think we had even more fun shooting that video because we felt even more prepared like after shooting the bear. So
yeah, and the interesting thing about the bear shoot is it was one of the hottest days of the year, and it was outside. It was an outside shoot. And even though it was during the night, it was so hot. Like standing, you were like dripping with sweat. So it was fun, but it was a tough one.
Yeah, it was tough. We did everything that we could to make ourselves look presentable, but at a certain point, after so many takes, it was like, all right, we just got to feed into it. We are sweating, and
we're moist.
That is the vibe.
So, post-release of the album, how is the touring coming up for you guys?
I mean, good. I mean, we've been rehearsing a lot, and we've never done a tour before. This is our first one, so it's we're trying to cover a lot of ground. We're going all the way like over to Iowa and Nebraska, and then we're going down to Texas, and then sort of making our way back up northeast. So we're doing 10, I think 11 now.
11 dates.
11 tour days. So we're keeping it small. We're kind of calling it a first leg of touring. If possible, we might try to tour again next year. But we needed to start with something small, and we started a GoFundMe, which was incredible and so helpful and really successful. People really, really pulled through and helped us with that, and that's going to make the tour and the release like as good as it possibly can be. And we're really excited. I mean, after years and years and years of not getting to play for people, getting to do a tour is like remarkable.
It's a great way to get back into it.
Yeah.
Any consideration taking the band out of the United States to Europe, South America?
Yeah, I mean, I would go anywhere. You know, like if we can do it, we'll do it. So right now the money isn't quite there, but hopefully, you know, if this album does well, and you know, if there's enough interest and we can do it, I would go wherever I'm taken. It would be awesome. We would love to do Europe and Australia and South America. I mean, I'm from South America, so I would go there anytime. I love it.
Yeah. We have a lot of listeners in the UK actually, so I think that's definitely one of the places that's at the top of our list. But I mean, same here and same for I think we literally speak for every member when we say that we want to go anywhere and everywhere. Yeah. Japan, Europe, South America, Australia. Like we would go anywhere. It's just sort of having the funds to go overseas is a lot harder than you'd expect, I guess. Or maybe you would, but hopefully in the future we can.
That's good. And on June 2nd, do you guys have some special plans for the release?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
We have a release show. It's gonna be great. There's gonna be we're gonna be joined by a bunch of awesome bands: Wilderun, Best in Ruin, Juggernaut. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna be here in Boston where we are, we're gonna do that for June 2nd, and we're gonna have a listening party for the album on May 30th, I believe. Where the people that donated in our GoFundMe above a certain threshold can get to listen to the album for the first time before everyone else, and they get to talk to us, you know, have a conversation about the album and their thoughts about it. So those are like the two main things we have prepared for the release of the album.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And being a good storytelling band with kind of concepts, do you ever plan to do something like an illustrative book, some kind of comic in the future?
Well, We would love to see it. I don't know if we necessarily would be the people to do it, but once again, like if we had the funds and years later we wanted to come back to it and we could finance and actually see something like that play out, I think we would. But I think we are very interested in if anyone else gets inspired enough by the story to make it something animated, make it a graphic novel, whatever. That would be incredibly cool. I would nerd out, and I'd also just be very interested to see how those people like interpret the story, because like we said, there's some parts that are a little ambiguous, and I don't know, it'd be really cool to see how someone would want to represent that in like on paper or in an illustration of some kind. So it would be really cool.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And is this going to be a continuation to the story or the end and something new is coming up?
I think this was pretty much a one and done concept. There's always a possibility of revisiting things later down the line if we want to, but I think this album and all of the tracks together was supposed to be sort of the one story book and chapters, so it kind of feels pretty final. I think the next thing that we will put out is probably going to be pretty opposite. It's going to be a lot more freeform and just writing new experimental stuff that will be more of a collection of songs. That's sort of what we're picturing. So
awesome. And since the formation, you had released an EP and 2 albums for now. So how did you feel about the journey that you have traveled so far?
It's been crazy. I mean, we started this while we were in college, and it was fun, and we had a great time, right? But I think with this album, we really, really thought we had to kind of make it better than the things we'd done before. Not to take any merit from what we'd done before, but I think we were a lot more focused, a lot more professional in our approach, a lot more critical. Definitely, there was a lot more collaboration. So I think we've done good. We're doing a tour. Like it's very exciting. I think the process and the progress and the journey we've been through is very exciting. Yeah. And we've been incredibly lucky to have people that support us and listen to us from basically the very beginning, which has been it's incredible. So yeah, we kind of for me, pretty happy with with how things are going.
Yeah, same. I don't have too much to add other than like I think you can tell from listening to our first album, the EP, and this one, and hopefully even going forward, that it is a band and a project that has really grown and changed and expanded and experimented, and I think that there's a lot of really, really special things that go on in the first album and the EP, and I think that that the early work has a lot of charm in its own way. But I think that this album and moving forward, it's like we feel a lot more confident about what we're doing, and like we feel very fulfilled. And like he said, I think getting more critical and getting really meticulous about the music that we're writing and putting out, it only yields better results in the end. So yeah, I'm also very excited for everything that's to come.
Awesome. And any highlight moments for the band that you want to share with me today?
No. What is?
I don't know. What kind of moments?
Anything that has been so special since the formation of the band.
Oh. I guess there was one time we went to, we used to do these things where we used to like do a little vacation together. And one time we went to a lake house in New Hampshire. And it was great. It was an awesome time. But what ended up happening is I went into the lake barefoot with everyone else, and then I stood up, and then a rock just went straight like through my foot.
Wow.
And that was the end of the trip. But it was a great time.
Yeah.
And it was fun, and we all laughed about it, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I think that was a good trip. I guess the highlight was the trip, not necessarily the rock through the foot, but
yeah,
it's a moment.
Yeah, no, it was a very short-lived little retreat.
Yeah.
But the one thing about this band and group of people and of friends that is great and will continue to be is that we're pretty positive, and we're like very, very able to just, through, you know, the joy of each other's company, just seeing the good. And I think we all just love each other very much. So, I feel like for me, another like special moment, just to have add something else would be, honestly, just when the band formed, like getting to play together for the first time, I think was very special for me, because it just was a very euphoric kind of out of body experience. When I think about it now, it was very like, you know, we're still all kind of just getting used to each other and like getting our bearings. We're not really close yet, so to speak. Like we kind of were, some of us were friends before being in the band together, but being in the band together is really what like made us all very close. So I just like thinking about that and thinking about where we are now and how different everything is, and how much we've grown. So.
And talking about the release, so is it planned to go just digital, or you're planning to come up with CDs, vinyl, and other stuff?
Yeah, CDs are on pre-sale right now. We actually got our copies of it yesterday, which we will have on the release show. So they'll be available there, and you could pre-order those. Vinyls, once we have the money for that, we'll totally do it. Like, you know, a nice, big, thick, you know, of course, we would love to do that. But for now, it's only CDs and merch that is related to the album as well.
Yeah, so all that stuff is available for pre-order at the various link trees and such that are on our socials. But the new merch is really, really cool. We've, you know, expanded. We have a beanie and a tapestry now, so we can afford a little bit more than what we could previously. So yeah, I think we all really want to do vinyl as well. We just need to wait a little bit and see if we can kind of have the money and the funds for that. But it would be awesome. So CDs are cool, even if CDs are a little bit more of a relic nowadays.
Yeah.
It's very cool to hold in our hands like what we made. It just, I don't know, it's a very cool feeling. So
does it come along with a booklet? It's some kind of illustration?
Yeah, it does. It's mostly, the booklet is mostly for all the lyrics, but there's some illustrations in there, and it's pretty light, but it's very nice. It's pretty. So we're excited for people to see that.
Fantastic. And finally, any message that you want to give to the fans around the world?
Yeah, I mean, thank you for listening to our music. If you do, and if you don't, give it a listen. If you like it, keep listening. If you don't, listen again. See if you like it the second time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of tour dates coming up. It's all in our socials. Okay, Goodnight Band, pretty much everywhere. Again, can't thank you enough for all the support and love we've received basically since day one. So we're very, very grateful for that.
Yeah, same here. We're extremely fortunate, and you know, check out the new merch, check out this album, check out you know, everything we have in our store and the previous works. I'm really, really excited for people to hear this, and I think that I think it's gonna be just such a nice, cool journey for people to go on. So yeah, thank you for listening. It's incredible that people have been supporting us the way they've been supporting us since the very beginning. And yeah, come see us live if you can. Yeah.
Fantastic. Martin and Casey, I want to thank you both so much for giving me today this wonderful opportunity to talk on the new album and more about the band. And I wish you guys all the best and hope to see you guys on the road real soon.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah,
It's been great.
thank you. It's
Take
awesome.
care and
Thank
have a good day. Bye-bye.
You too.